Hello everyone, welcome to Tutor Corner LLC, and this video will be the first video for our physics playlist. Now we will go over various aspects of physics and we will start with physics mechanics, and in this video it'll be vectors. So vectors has both a magnitude and direction. Okay, so I know that's quite vague, but we will see that in a more visual aspect along with a more mathematical aspect. Okay, so now a vector is represented as, let's say, a letter, and it has the arrow on top. The arrow on top is very important because that shows that it is a vector. Okay, this is a vector. Now the absolute value of A, or what seems to be the absolute value of A, is called the magnitude of vector A, and is represented in the formula square root, at least in a three-dimensional system, the x component squared, the y component squared, and the z component squared. Okay, we will go over the components later in this video, but for now we will take a look at the visual aspect of it. So let's give an example, example 1, and let's say we have a vector A, and vector A looks like this. Now it has both magnitude and direction, and at least from this view it looks like it's going northeast, and the magnitude is just the length of this vector. Okay, it's just the length, and the direction can be represented as the angle. Okay, usually in terms of north, south, east, west, and any combinations of those. Okay, so let's take a look at scaling this vector and seeing what it looks like. So pay attention. It's important to note that this arrow's length will remain the same unless we scale this vector, and that it's going northeast. So if we make vector A be negative, let's say you're going north and I make you negative, or you're going in the opposite direction, then you will be going south. So the same applies for this. So this vector right here will be going the opposite direction. However, it's not being scaled, so it'll have the same length. So it'll just be flipped, and that'll be the negative of vector A. Okay. Now let's take a look at scaling vectors. Okay, so just to rewind, vector A looks something like this. And if we ask, what is 1/2 of vector A? What does it look like? Now we're not changing the direction, so it's still going to be the same arrow, but the length is going to be halved. Okay, so we will draw the same arrow, but half its size, and that'll be 1/2 of A. Does that make sense? Once again, you're more than welcome to pause this video to hopefully understand this better. And if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to go into the comment section and ask those questions. All right, let's take a look at if we have twice vector A. Now we're not changing the direction because we are just scaling vector A by 2. So it'll be the same arrow, but try to guess. twice the length. So vector 2a is equal to that. Okay? Not this, but yeah, you know what I mean. That's vector 2a right here. Okay. So let's move on. Actually, let's give another example just to make sure that we really understand this. Let's say we have vector b, and vector b looks like this. What does vector negative b look like? So if you're going down, you're going the opposite way for negative of vector b, so you will be going up. And that is our solution. What about, let's say, negative 1/2 of vector b? Okay, so let's do this step by step. So we know that this right here is vector b. Now let's take the negative into consideration. So since it's going down, now it'll go up. That'll be the negative of vector b. And then finally, we take the 1/2 into consideration. So we will go from this arrow to this arrow and this arrow to the next one, half this arrow's size. So it'll be something like this. So that is negative 1/2 of vector b. And that is our solution. Okay? Now let's move on to the how to add vectors. Okay, so adding and subtracting vectors. Okay, and let's keep the same idea, at least let's say example, I believe this is example 3. Vector A is represented as something like this, and vector B is represented as, I should probably change the color so it's easier to distinguish between the two. Vector B is this arrow going down. Okay. Now, what is vector A plus vector B? Now, the rule here when adding is we will first draw the leftmost vector. So we will rewrite this arrow. Same direction, same length. That is that. Now, the next vector will start at the arrow tip of the first vector or the previous vector. Now, vector B is not changing, and we will just draw this from here down. Okay, so same length, same direction. And that's what it'll look like. I should probably switch the colors, or actually no, I'm just gonna switch it this way and let's color it yellow. And the sum of those two, A plus B, is this yellow arrow coming from the tail end of vector A and the arrow tip of vector B. Okay? So let's try to demonstrate this in a different way. Let's say it was vector A minus, actually let's do the opposite, vector B plus vector A. Okay? So the first vector we are dealing with is vector B, as you see right here. So we will just draw that vector B arrow anywhere. There's no negative sign in front, nor is there a scalar, so we're just matching the exact same length as best as we can in the same direction. So we're done with that. And next up is vector A. Remember, the next vector will start at the arrow tip of the first one or the previous one, and we will just draw it going this way. And now our resulting vector vector b plus a, should be red, will be the tail end of vector b and the arrow end of vector a. And that will be our resulting vector for vector b plus a. Okay? Okay. So let's make it a little bit more complex. Okay? What about, let's say use this example 4 using the same vectors. What does negative vector a plus 2 vector b look like? Okay. So once again, we'll start with black. Vector a looks like that. It's negative, so let's do this step by step. So we know that this is vector a, and it transforms into negative a, so we will just switch the direction. Now we have vector negative a plus 2b. So let's take a look at b. B is blue. We know that vector b looks like this, plus 2b, so we will double its size. And now we will combine those two. Forgot the 2 for b. So negative a plus 2b. So we will draw that arrow, vector negative a, and then vector b. Remember, we start the tail end of vector b at the tip of vector a, and we will go down. And our resulting vector in green will be at the tail end of the first vector to the arrow end of the second vector. So we will have this, negative a plus 2b. Okay? So I'm going to cut this video short right here. If you have any questions or comments on this, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comments section below. And hopefully you enjoyed this video and it was helpful to you. And like and subscribe for more. Thank you.